remember when I was wanting the question to be answered, and it was very difficult to kind of find an answer to it. You didn't even have that many studies even being done about it to try to figure out what this meant. And that was, okay, vaccinated person versus a non-vaccinated person. What is the comparison of like future protection from infection or sickness, illness of COVID? Does a person that, let's say, has the complete natural antibodies, are they in a better position than the person that got the jab and then maybe caught it going in the future? How long do those antibodies last? See, these are all questions that I would think that people will want to answer, but we hadn't got a whole lot of, we got a couple of guesses, but we have a preprint of a paper so it's about to be peer reviewed, coming out of Israel. And what the preprint shows, and you can see it right here, and I'll get the name for you. So if you're watching this or listening to it, the title page says comparing SARS-CoV-2 natural immunity to vaccine-induced immunity, reinfections versus breakthrough infections. So reinfections versus breakthrough infections is what they're comparing in this. And there's a long study being done. Of course, the authors say they have no conflict of interest. There was no external funding for this project. And there's a group of, as you can see right here, medical doctors, scientists, and what have you, that are all a part of this there. And as Alex mentioned here, and kind of summarizing some of the main talking points, this is what it's saying. New Israeli preprint shows natural immunity to SARS-CoV-2 is far superior to the artificial kind. And that's with vaccinated people. He's saying vaccinated people were 13 times as likely to be infected and 27 times more likely to have symptomatic infections as a matched cohort that was previously infected. And this is with the Delta dominant. Paper also shows that offering previously infected people one dose slightly reduced their infection risk, though not enough to outweigh the side effects, he'd argue, but that's neither here nor there. Along with the other emerging data, this paper, he says, should end any debate over vaccines versus natural immunity. So as this, of course, is going to be looked at, and I'm not saying that this is a stone cold fact, we'll have whoever look at it. I'm sure that they're going to try everything they can to dismiss this paper. But looking at some of these talking points, as you can see here, what was the good one that was here? Yes, which 238 occurred in vaccinated people, breakthrough infections, and 19 in previously infected group reinfections. After adjusting for comorbidities, we found statistically significant 13.06 fold increased for breakthrough infection as opposed to reinfection, apart from ages over 60. You can see that. So, and this is, it says after adjusting for comorbidities, blah, 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 9 cases of COVID-19 related hospitalizations were recorded, 8 of which were in vaccinated people and 1 in the previously infected. 19, blah, 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 is what more so it's saying. You can go read this entire deal again, titled Comparing SARS-CoV-2 Natural Immunity to Vaccine-Induced Immunity Reinfections versus Breakthrough Infections. And really what all this is saying is that, just as that title suggests, is that the people that had got it naturally, despite not being vaccinated, or rather having the natural immunity, they were more protected, if you will, from what they're saying, were even both symptomatic and just testing positive, I guess, in general, but especially with symptomatic, because what is it, 27 times more with symptomatic infection. So what it sounds like is that definitely for those younger people, at least according to this preprint, and we'll see what happens after that, but at least according to the preprint, natural immunity means that you're better off. Now, again, we're not talking about prior to jab or prior to being infected with COVID. We're talking about people that have natural immunity, so they got it and then they recovered. Is what we're talking about. Those people that have built those antibodies seem to have more protection in comparison to those people that got the jab. And we'll see how many more of these studies come about and what they try to do with this study, because I'm telling you, they're going to bring out all the shot callers. This comes to a conclusion that is different from what a lot of people want, right? Because it suggests that, well, okay, you're going to have people that look at that if this becomes more, let's say, approved, or rather, and, this word gets out. You're going to have people say, well, okay, I'll just take my chances then. Instead of just having to get jabs and boosters, I'll just take my chance. They'll do everything. They're going to throw everything at this, man, to try to debunk all of this. So we'll see what happens. But this is what I always wanted on a serious note, was exactly that. Wanted people, the scientists, the doctors, yeah, we know what you're talking about with all this jab, but when you have people that have natural immunity, so they caught it, recovered, what is their protection in comparison to the vaccine, people that had the vaccine? Can we get some more information on that? And can we get not only more information on that, can the people that are supposed to be spreading all of the information, can they make that clear so people can make educated decisions for themselves? But it seems like that's not what they want. It's funny, they talk about follow the science. And it's always, you have to come to one conclusion. And that conclusion is get the jab. That's it. That's the only conclusion that you could ever come to. And nobody can ever make an educated action, right? Based upon what the data says, based upon what the science says. So it seems like they're withholding either information, or maybe they are looking under rocks that they're not going to like what's under it. So this is why you're having it talked about less. So I would hopefully this type of information, this is why I'm doing the video, because I wanted you to know that this is being done. So hopefully this type of information gets out there further. Maybe there are more studies that are done to let us know exactly this. Now that may mean that people will come to different conclusions, but it's an educated one nonetheless. You can't just sit up there and say jab, 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 and then the alternative not being jab. You're not actually showing, aside from, okay, this amount of deaths, or this amount of hospitalizations, you're not showing what's happening to the people that got it and recovered, and what it looks like, at least according to the preprint. Well, they have more protection than the people that had the jab. It's a serious thing. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.